Week 2's in the books, and Gridiron Glory brings you these Week 2 matchups. In West Virginia, the Yellow Jackets, fresh off a 50-0 Week 1 victory, matched up with a familiar heavyweight, the Magnolia Blue Eagles. The Jackson Ironmen had no problem with Wellston at home last week, and were looking for more of the same with Waverly in town. Athens looked to unveil their shiny new stadium in style when they took on Dawson Bryant in the opener at Basil Rudder Field. Muskingum Valley League play kicked off with West Muskingum at Sheridan. Also, Philo hosted the Ceramics of Crooksville. And the TBC Hawking title was up for grabs as early as tonight in our game of the week between Trimble and Bahama. Who came out on top? Find out right now. How's it going, football fans? Welcome inside the set of Gridiron Glory. How you doing, folks? I'm Blake Brody. It's week 2 of the high school football season, and tonight's matchups are what I like to call early season swing games. For our week 1 winners tonight, it's all about keeping the momentum rolling and getting to 2-0. For those who lost last week, tonight becomes crucial to avoid a dreaded 0-2 start, to get in the win column and get the season back on the right track. Which team's pendulum swung the right way? You're about to find out. Boy, Williamstown was awfully impressive in their week 1 win. The Yellow Jackets brought the beat down on Tyler Consolidated last week 50-0. But week 2 means a matchup with defending Class A AA state champ Magnolia. The Blue Eagles come in having beaten the Yellow Jackets the last 2 seasons. With that, we bring up Pat Moore to the desk. We were at the game tonight. Magnolia's had the Yellow Jackets number the last couple years, but it's a new year, and the Yellow Jackets looked eager to get that turned around.
Yeah, Blake. Coach Smith and his Yellow Jackets looking to pick up early playoff points against the former AA West Virginia State champs in their yearly non-league matchup, and also break that 2-game losing streak against the Blue Eagles. Our location tonight, good old Williamstown, West Virginia, and the Yellow Jacket fans are more than ready for this week 2 matchup. Early, quarterback Blue Eagles, Tanner Hanna with a connection, nice little pitch and catch for a nice 9-yard to Nick Blatt. Next play, Keller from the Wildcat, 8-yard gain. And then the next play is a thing of beauty. Here's Hannah dropping back, looking for receiver, looking good, but intercepted Eli Gray down the sideline, 84-yard interception return. You know, Blake, I was actually number 29 my sophomore year, then went to number 5 junior, senior year, but whatever, back to the game. PAT good. After a punt by Magnolia, an interception to get the ball back and trying to get things going. Hannah back to Platt for a 19-yard gain right there. And to keep things rolling, trying to get into that end zone. Hannah looking, nice pass right there to number 22, McElhaney for a, but it was taken back because of flags, just biting themselves in the foot right there. Punt, touchback, just not getting anything done. Here's the guy of the night right here, Trey King. Nice little beautiful move right here down the sideline, making players miss. Right there, but unfortunately I was taken back as well. Again, play a lot of penalties this game, but really the Yellow Jackets putting the foot down 41-14.
Wow.
And look, looking at stats, you got to look, the Yellow Jackets controlling the game on the ground. I mean, you got to look, Trey King with his 3 touchdowns, Adams, again, adding another TD, and just really complete control the whole game.
Yeah, it looks like it. Williamstown able to exact a little revenge on the Blue Eagles. What impressed you tonight the most for the Yellow Jackets?
Well, really, it's all about Trey King. I mean, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just the guy was just dominant. But I think they're sitting very pretty, real pretty.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing what Williamstown has in store the rest of the way. That sure looks good starting out. Good job, Pat. Well, while most teams were out of conference week 2, MVL action officially began tonight. One of those matchups was in Crooksville, where the Ceramics played host to the Philo Electrics. A lot of weeks left to play, but the winner of tonight's game gets an early leg up in a league that's always strong at the top. Now we welcome in Pat Chiesa into the desk, or up onto the set. Pat, talk about these 2 teams. When these 2 teams play, it seems like there's always a little extra on the line. What does this game mean to these teams?
Oh, Blake, you're exactly right. I spoke with Philo coach Dirk Linscomb earlier this week. Said, Coach, what do you tell your players to motivate them for this game? He said, you know what, I don't need to tell them anything. This is the one game that they are waiting for all season long. They were absolutely amped up, and you can bet that Crooksville was amped up as well. As MVL reporter Glenn Janis would say, there was so much energy tonight. Look at this. We got a parachute guy landing on the field. That's from Fast Track Parachute in Cincinnati. That's pretty cool. Early on the draw, Miller transferred Colton Gill, stuffed by Elijah Talk from Philo. Talk about that. But after a second failed drive by Philo, Gill finds a hole, a 10-yard run down to the 7, and 2 plays later, splash. Lake Channel sneaks in for a touchdown, 7-0 Big C. Big Lake would finish with 142 yards passing and 2 TDs on the night. Meanwhile, Philo still can't get the offense going. Stuffed on 4th and 2 here, and Devontae Burke, I'd say he's a little bit pumped up. But Philo's Tyler Smith picks off Lake Channel, and on the very next play, here's Austin Derringer on the flank, 35 yards down the field, and 2 plays later, Nick Dorman will take it himself and swag surf into the end zone for 30 yards. That's pay dirt. But right before the half, Big C takes the lead. Lake Channel to Dakota Jones, 35 yards. Look at that boy run. And that's going to give Crooksville the lead heading into the half. Really just a high-octane game here. Oh, and this kid's loving it.
Oh.
Crooksville ceramic of the future. In the second half, Lake Channel will find Luke Hahn on 4th and 14.
What a play.
34 yards. Makes it 18-7 Crooksville. And unfortunately, we left right after this, but Philo would come back and send shockwaves throughout the MVL. With 4 seconds left to play, listen to this. Backup quarterback Zach Sheridan found Justin Thrush from 15 yards out in the back left corner of the end zone. Ball game. Electrics win 20-19. I mean, excuse the corny pun, but it was just shocking. Shocking. Unbelievable.
Shocking to say the least, Pat. What a comeback for Philo, the way they did it as well. You know, I mean, what does this game mean? Was this more of Crooksville blowing it, you think, or did Philo really just figure it out?
Oh, it was just Philo figuring it out, Blake. I mean, this was a hard-fought game. There was a lot of trash talking going on. Both teams were going head-to-head, and really Philo just found the will to win at the end of this. Just an unbelievable game, especially them winning on the road in the fashion that they did. Okay, now Crooksville, where exactly do they go from here? I know they have some tough games coming up, but they can't hang their heads with about this loss either. Oh, you're absolutely right. Crooksville has some tough sailing coming up here. They play Sheridan and Tri-Valley weeks 4 and 5, back-to-back on the road. So their star players, Lake Channel, Colton Gill, they're going to have to step up and lead this team. All right, Pat. Well, we look forward to seeing how Philo responds and also how Crooksville responds from this one. Good stuff, man. Thanks. Hey, Gridiron Glory's got a Twitter, and we ask that you follow us. Our reporters are tweeting machines when it comes to updating the games they're at. So for the best way to get up to the second score alerts around the area, follow us at Gridiron Glory and Facebookers. Lee Phillips from Athens is our reigning Facebook Fan of the Week, and by liking our page, you could become the next. And remember, our winners are invited to our finale show at the very end of the season and player award ceremony. Well, the Jackson Ironmen laid the lumber in their season opening victory over Wellston last week, 35-0. With playmakers on both sides of the ball, the Ironmen look every bit as good as the team who went unbeaten through the SEOAL last season. But it's still early, and tonight they matched up with Waverly. With that, we welcome up Carter Rodriguez to the desk. And I mean, what's the deal here with Jackson? I mean, what has been impressed you the most? Now, the defense, what we talked about before the show, defense looks strong.
Oh, they're unbelievable this year. They've been swarming. They shut out Wellston. I was talking to Coach Andy Hall today, and he gave me a little interesting tidbit. It is that he coached with Rex Ryan of the New York Jets at Morehead State.
Wow.
So I'm sure he picked up just a couple tips there. And you know, Waverly was looking to take its first win of this in well over a season, and Jackson wanted to continue their momentum to a second straight win. See Jackson Ironman pumped up for the game, entering the stadium, and Austin Osborne's going to fake the handoff, run into a little resistance. He's going to make something out of nothing. That's a 6-yard gain, but he does get them the first down. Drew Irvin's ready to get a little bit more than 6 yards here.
Yeah.
That is a 65-yard touchdown run. The big man's got a little burst.
Looks like it.
Absolutely. Next kickoff, Eamon Gilbert is going to get absolutely blown up. This Jackson Ironman team was swarming. They were everywhere. Next play, Dylan Murray takes the pitch. He gets out by 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, 3 tacklers, 4, and then just the rest of the Jackson Ironman team. Andy Hall calls his quarterback over, says, I think we should give the ball to Drew Irvin again.
Seems like a good idea.
It always is, and he's going to pull up a 9-yard touchdown. Jackson's up 14-0, completely controlling the game. Screen pass to Taylor Ward, trying to get something going, and Austin Osborne just levels him. He does it on both sides of the ball. It's 14-0 Jackson, and Morgan Landron says, you know what, I'm ready to be done. He's going to finish it with a 22-yard rushing touchdown, 21-0 Jackson. They go on to win 49-0.
Wow.
That is 84 unanswered points for the Jackson Ironmen, and they put up 364 total yards in this game. All of them were rushing.
Unbelievable.
Not a single passing yard in it. didn't really matter. How often do you see 49 points without them going through the air?
Yeah, no, that's awfully impressive. It says a lot about their running game. And Jackson looks dominant through 2 weeks. Carter, we look forward to seeing what Jackson has in store the rest of the season. Good stuff, man. Hell, don't forget about our Game of the Week coming up soon. 2 teams with TVC Hawking title aspirations squared off in what could very well wind up being a winner-take-all matchup. The highlights of Trimble and Bahama coming up soon, and we'll talk on the phone with the winning coach, so stick around. Philo Crooksville wasn't the only MVL action Gridiron Glory witnessed tonight. Our team also traveled to Sheridan for their matchup with West Muskingum. The Generals, on paper, appear to be locked and loaded for a repeat run in the MVL. Tonight's matchup with the Tornadoes provided some proof to the pudding. Now, Glenn Janos joins us at the desk. Glenn, Sheridan was dominant throughout the MVL last season. Tonight looked a lot like deja vu all over again.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's exactly right, Blake. Sheridan coach Paul Culver said it would be tough with only 1 returning offensive lineman, but it seems like they have it all worked out. A 40-0 victory last weekend against Lakewood. They wanted to keep the momentum rolling as they open up league play with West Muskingum, and they are debuting the new stadium. Paul Culver Jr. Stadium got a remodel, retouch up, and you know, how else do you want to start out the new field with?
With a kick return, maybe.
Yeah, the opening kickoff. Mitchell Fouch here. You take the ball, bounce off a couple defenders, and next thing you know, he's in the clear, taking it 82 yards, 7-0 early on. The offense hasn't even stepped on the field for the Generals. Well, next possession, they are on offense, and Drew Murray to Jacob Horsley, senior connection there, 9 yards, 15-0. West M, their possession now, well, it's not for very long. Dalton McLaughlin will pick him off. He's close to the end zone. He smells it. He wants it. He'll take it in. A 20-yard return, 21-0. Still the first quarter.
Jeez.
West Muskingum, though, they're on offense. Got something cooking inside Sheridan territory, but it's on 4th down here, and you see Clay Musselman just get swarmed.
Ouch,
had nowhere to go. That's the way offense went all night for the Tornadoes. Just a rough go for them. And Drew Murray, just a couple plays later after that sack, carries the ball 36 yards inside the 10-yard line, and Mitchell Fouch will finish the drive. 9 yards out, touchdown, 27-0, and it's at the end of the first quarter. Another touchdown added on early in the second. You see here later on, Mitchell Fouch fumble. West Muskingum recovers, but like I said earlier, nothing going for their offense. Couldn't get points off the turnovers. The Generals were really happy, so were their fans. I mean, how else can't you be? I mean, 53-0 victory to start out league play. That's the way they want to do it. I mean, dominated on the ground, had 418 rushing yards. That's just powering the ball. Yeah, really had no problem tonight with the Tornadoes.
Wow, all right. Well, Sheridan dominant through 2 weeks of play. Looking like they resorted back to their same form last year. We're excited to see what Sheridan has in store the rest of the season. Good stuff, Glenn. Well, it's Fan of the Week time, and I got to start out by saying the atmosphere is out here top-notch everywhere we go. But when you mix a great atmosphere with the unveiling of a brand new state-of-the-art stadium, you get madness. I was in for a whole lot of that when I went to Athens looking for tonight's Fan of the Week. This is just pandemonium, right? Minutes before kickoff here. Trying to find a fan of the week. We got so many different people shouting out, but who among you should be fan of the week? Can you give us a go Bulldogs? Can you give us one?
Go Bulldogs!
Nice, good job, buddy. These are awesome. We're looking for a fan of the week.
Oh my goodness, please.
See, the thing is we only have one t-shirt, so you'd almost have to battle royale it out for who the one is.
Yeah. Can't you just give us all the glory and we'll share the t-shirt? Go Bulldogs!
Ego Budo.
Ego Budo.
Really like Ego Budo.
Ego Budo! Something like that. Okay. All right, I got to get used to that. Let's go.
Let's go! Let's go!
Okay, it's now that time to unveil our fan of the week. And to be honest with you, when we saw these two twos, it was really no turning back at this point. So we have nominated Tiffany, Helena, and Elena, the three of them, as our Week 2 Gridiron Glory Fans of the Week. Congratulations. And I expect that tutu you promised me in the mail, Ace. Well, the Athens Bulldogs' 15-10 victory over Galley Academy last week was anything but pretty. But style points are the last thing Coach Ryan Adams cares about. A win is a win. What Coach Adams took pride in was the Bulldogs' ability to wipe out a 10-point deficit with strong defense and just enough offense. Looking to climb to 2-0, the Bulldogs welcomed Colegrove into New Rudder Field tonight. At that game was Justin Sampson. Great comeback win last week for Athens. Tonight they were unveiling a new stadium. There had to be some jitters. Did you think that affected their play at all tonight?
Oh, there was definitely some high emotions with the opening of Scott Riggs and Family Stadium. But you know what? It was a great atmosphere out there, and the Bulldogs came out ready after having a sluggish offense last week. But, you know, between the video intro and everything, it was just a perfect storm for the Bulldogs tonight, and they came out ready to face a Coal Grove team that hung 43 on Meigs last week. Wow. Here are the Bulldogs coming out onto their new turf for the first time. Now, one guy you know this new turf would benefit is this man right here, and from the first touch, it was the Devon Sharp Variety Hour. He takes the opening kickoff up the sideline for a big gain. It would be called back on a penalty. That's all right, he's making big things happen. Now, later that series, finds the end zone for the first time. Over on the corner, 6-0 Bulldogs. He's going to get a little bit of rest, but his day is not over yet. No, not by a long shot. On the very next series, on virtually the same spot, finds the corner of the end zone again. Already got 2 scores to his credit, and the Bulldogs are up 12-0. Now, QB Josh Skinner, not to be outdone, he makes a few things happen with his legs, but he finishes 6 for 10, 143 yards, and 1 score. Later in that series, Chris Russell, when they get a little closer to the end zone, he scores on an 8-yard strike, and the ensuing 2-point conversion makes it 20-0 Bulldogs. Now, it's always fun on the ensuing kickoff when the kicker makes a TD-saving tackle. Well, it's even better here because it's guess who? Devon Sharp. Once
Makes
again,
sense.
the kid is doing it all. But he's not the only one making big defensive plays because Mitch Ryder, I told you he needed to have a big game and a big pick to stop a promising Coal Grove drive. One more chance for the Bulldogs to score right before halftime. Skinner finds Sharp over on the sideline. He cuts back, busts through 2 defenders and even his own teammates, stumbles, dives, but at the 1-inch line, tripped up, but it's all right because he punches it in on the very next play, put the Bulldogs up 26-0 at halftime. Plenty more scoring to be done in this one as the Bulldogs christen their new stadium
the right way.
48-14. What a way to do it. I told you the field would be a big way to help this offense, and you see it right there. Well over 400 yards of offense for these guys. Devon Sharp, 21 carries, 162 yards, and 3 scores. This kid is having a big start to his season, and I don't think it's over just yet.
No, I don't think so by a long shot. And Athens looks real good after 2 weeks. One of the real aspects of this new field is the turf that they play on. You think this is going to turn into a serious home field advantage for the Bulldogs?
Oh, I think it definitely will. I think this is something that you're going to see from this Bulldog team throughout. Devon Sharp, I think he is just getting started. I think he is having the potential to have a very big year, and it'll be interesting to see once they start playing some in-conference opponents with some great defenses, but I think this is going to be the norm for the Bulldog offense all season long.
Well, we'll see if that plays out that way, Justin. Good stuff as always. Now that time of the show now for Extra Points, where we take you out to 2 games and bring you highlights in 1 minute's time. We're going to start out in Miller. First play from scrimmage. Ricky Gibbons takes the handoff, 70 yards, breaks through the line, big hole, takes it all the way to pay dirt, 70 yards. But wait a second, holding on the Falcons, that would be a killer because on the next play, Gibbons would fumble the pitch and Eastern recovers at the 20-yard line. Just a few plays later, Zach Scowden scores from 3 yards out. Extra point would be no good. That's okay. Eastern takes it 13-6. Pick North now and Logan. 4th down. Zach Olszewski scrambles from 19 yards out to pick up the first down. Great play there. 4th and goal from the 2. Play action. Olszewski finds a wide open Adam Hunt for the touchdown. Pick North up 35-7. Kelly Long trying to get Logan back in the game, but throws it into a crowd of white jerseys. That was picked off by the Panthers. Pick North would roll in this one 42-14. It's only week 2 of a long 10-week season, but in no way is it exaggerating the point when we say tonight's matchup between Trimble and Bahama means everything in the TVC Hawking. Defending champion Bahama against its biggest threat to dethrone them in Trimble. It's only week 2, but in the TVC Hawking, this is it. intensity to say the least. Nick Hurst, we welcome you to the desk. You're at this game tonight. Nick, I'm going to let you be the judge here. Last season, this was the most important game of the TVC hockey season. We've been saying all week that it would be the same way this year. Fact or fiction there?
I'm going to have to say fact. Both of these teams, two teams are two of the most experienced teams in the hockey, and both placed 1 and 2 last year. And both teams know the importance of this year's game. But as Wahama's coach Ed Cromley put it, he's looking at this game as the most important game for this week. And there's Wahama coming out, the state runners-up in Class Single A in West Virginia, and this is their first game of the season. And on their first possession, Trenton Gibbs throws an interception to Storm Rushing. That's a fun name. That's for Trimble. And however, Wahama, they're not going to go away. They're on their next drive. Isaac Lee finds the end zone on a 56-yard touchdown. He had 178 yards on 3 receptions. And he had 3 total touchdowns in this game, doing everything. He also had an interception. We'll show you that later. But fullback Anthony Grimm then punches it in for Wahama. That puts Wahama up 14-0 at that point. But Trimble, they know the importance of this game. Justin Jewell, who had some problems with his receivers, they had 3 drop passes in the first quarter as we counted. He finds tight end Jacob Hooper on that pass, and then Jewell would find Wyatt Deek, who's going to make a nice grab, and that's a 13-yard reception for Trimble. And then the Cage Tiger's loose. He's going to power in a 5-yard touchdown, and they would get the 2-point conversion, and that would make it 14-8. And Trimble would attack again, but Jewell's pass is going to be intercepted by Isaac Lee. He picks it off, but we then had some blackout problems at the stadium. The stadium lights went out at around 2:40, and then they took it into halftime once the lights came back on, and then for 4 minutes they stopped the play. I'm not sure why.
It sounds really confusing.
Yeah, and then, well, needless to say, Wahama played much better in the second half. They won 47-22. Big win for Wahama.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. We talked about it being such a huge game because Trimble might be the best team to dethrone Wahama. Is this now Wahama's league to win this year?
Well, I think it might be. I mean, in the first half, they were not playing very well. The secondary was just getting picked apart by Justin Jewell, but I mean, if they work that out, they're going to be just fine. They could be a team. I don't know if they'll be a state championship team again, but they're definitely one of the most dangerous teams in this TVC hockey.
Absolutely. Now, Trimble, they now fall to 0-2, but talking before the show, Nick, you said there's still a lot of positives that Trimble can take away from these first two games.
Definitely. Justin Jewell, they're normally a passing team, a running team,
right,
and he's been passing the ball a lot. He had 36 attempts today.
Wow.
And Austin Keefe, they can get him into the running game. This is going to be a very dangerous offense, and it's definitely one of the top-tier teams in the hockey. And again, this is only their first conference game, so I don't see them having much problems if they can just get it going. And, you know, it's still early.
Okay, real quick now, is there another team in the hockey that you think can trip up Wahama?
I think South Gallia has been a team that's been playing very well. They won 34-0 against Southern, and Waterford's coach Chad Ross, I'm sure, wants to win another TVC hockey championship. They haven't won one since 2007, but I think the top 2 teams are going to be Wahama and Trimble, so it's going to be tough.
Okay, Nick, well, we look forward to seeing how it plays out. Thanks a lot, man. Yep. We're now joined on the phone by our winning coach. That is Coach Cromley from Wahama. Coach, thanks for being on the show with us.
Well, we're glad to do it.
Okay, now talk to us about this win tonight. I mean, this is a huge win for you guys. Tell us what this means for your club going forward.
Well, it was just a war out there, and it was kind of a war of attrition. We had the heat and the light going dim on us, and we had some people that had to go down for injuries and so forth, and we had some players step up and fill shoes, and I think that's why we came across with the win. Okay,
yeah, you're right. It was a bit of a strange one with the blackout mid-game. It looks like it might have affected you guys a little bit early on. Did it affect you guys at all?
Well, we went back into the locker room there at halftime. It was still in the second quarter that we took, while the lights could get adjusted, and I think the kids got a little refreshed there and came out and played better after we came out after that break.
Now, I know it's only the first game of your guys' season, and it was a huge one to start off with and a big win. What do you think is the team's mindset now, getting to 1-0? It was such a crucial win going forward.
Well, I think if you've been talking on the television there that Trimble, Wahama is a big game in the league, and I think it's going to just give us a lot of confidence to continue to build on.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time with us. You're at 1-0 now, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Well, now you've seen all the games we covered tonight, but there were some plays that we'd be criminalized for not showing you more than once. So here are Week 2's top plays, and there were some good ones tonight too. Starting off number 3 in Sheridan, Glenn said it best earlier, what's a better way to start off league play? Well, how about a kickoff return? Mitchell Fouch gives just that to Sheridan, bounces it outside, and from that point, that's it. That's all she wrote right there. I mean, right off the bat, Sheridan takes command early on. They go on to win 53-0. Number 2, talking with Coach Cromley, he had to like this play from Isaac Lee, the tip interception, a big one there off Justin Jewell. That was just a little bit of what went well for Bahama. They went on to roll. Number 1, though, Athens, Devon Sharp, making moves here, getting by defenders, bouncing off others. And here's where you see him. He just stretches all the way there. Good play from Devon Sharp. Athens cruises to 2-0. Well, now that you've seen the top plays, Week 2 is officially in the books. So now we turn our attention to next week, and here's a look at what to expect from Gridiron Glory in Week 3.
With Week 2 behind us, Week 3 is now the focus of Gridiron Glory. Next week's matchups bring plenty of intrigue. Dustin Young and Nelsonville York make their home debut next Friday. The Buckeyes look strong in the early going and look to keep their out-of-conference momentum going against Bern Union. We'll get our first look at SEOAL contender Portsmouth when they host the Pirates of Wheelersburg. I'll be in Trimble looking for a fan of the week when the Tomcats return to Gloucester. Welcoming them home, the South Gallia Rebels. Also, the MVL race continues in full swing as we move to Week 3. Maysville matches up with John Glenn, which pits 2 teams looking to jumpstart their conference season. And we'll be in New Lexington as the Panthers take on Philo in our game of the week. The Panthers have started the season strong, but to stamp themselves as an MVL contender, a victory over the Electrics is a must-happen. But Philo will be anything but understanding as they look to plant themselves squarely in the MVL race.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Be sure to tune in next week, Week 3, which brings us games with different meanings from team to team throughout the area. Some will be playing critical conference matchups, while others continue to tune up for conference play. Whatever the meaning, we hope you'll tune in next Friday at 11:30. So for the entire crew, I'm Blake Brody reminding you there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.